Hey everyone, how's it going? Okay, first of all, I promised a range report. I'm going to give you a range report. I had video, but unfortunately the video was trashed. There was too much commotion going on at the range. So I'm just going to give you a verbal report and point out my findings. Here's the two Derya Melik pistols. As you can see, I had bought one, then I got another one because they were under $300, like $289. I couldn't resist. And everything I can see right now, first of all, these are, from all evidence, are a 1-for-1 clone. You can see that I had some Beretta grips I put on. They were a little thinner, and they look better. I mean, they feel a little bit better in the hand to me, and I just like the way they look. As a matter of fact, when I went to the range, there was another guy that was a former Marine, and he was talking, oh, you're here shooting Berettas today, and he couldn't tell by looking right at it. I had to tell him that they were clones. But nevertheless, this is my findings. First of all, I was shooting a mixture of ammunition, and some of it was reloads. I had some factory reloads, and I'm going to show you what they are. Just let me grab the boxes. Okay, first off, I was shooting 180 grain. I'll show you what they are. Freedom, see it like that. Freedom munition, okay? Whichever, you can read it this way or that way. Freedom munition. And these are remanufactured 124 grain hollow points. And look what I got. The remanufactured ammunition with these hammer-fired pistols, I struck it like 3 times on one of the pistols, and it wouldn't go off. One of these pistols ran perfectly 100% on whatever. One of them was picky and didn't want to digest some of the remanufactured. But when I switched over to regular factory ammunition, brand new manufacturer, it ran everything 100%. So I'm going to make some changes. I'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, this is Freedom Munition Reman, and I'm sorry, because of that, I can't recommend it. But I am going to say this. Once I put this ammo, most of it, into my Glock, the striker would ignite it. But look at that. Look how deep that strike is. That took 3 hits, and I still couldn't get that one to go. And then I got stuff like this. I think that these are hard primers. If you look closely, oh, and first of all, look at this. Look at the setback on that bullet. Look at the round. Look at the difference in the setback. Now that right there is a factory load. That came like that. That's Freedom Munitions factory loaded reman. And they talk high and low. Oh, it's so great, our factory remanufactured, loaded to original specs, whatever. And look what they got. So I'm glad I didn't put that inside of my pistol. I was loading up a magazine, and I saw that, and I went, I don't want to overpressure my chamber and possibly blow the pistol up. So I put that one aside. Didn't even try. You can see that hasn't even got a strike on it. Didn't even try. So I'm putting that one aside to fire that one. But you can see some of these casings. I don't know if you can see, if you can focus, but they all have different manufacturers' head stamps. All right, they are reloads, but how can you get consistency? That tells me that they're throwing whatever kind of primers, and who knows, maybe, I don't know for sure, but maybe they're farming this out and they're getting their ammo from wherever they can, because some of these primers were hit, and it's like it barely dented. I think they have a lot of hard primers. I don't know, but I cannot recommend Freedom Munitions remanufactured ammunition. Cannot recommend that. So all that aside, I had some hard primer strikes, light primer strikes. One of these pistols would not digest it. But when I switched over to newly manufactured MagTech, no problems whatsoever. And now let me see some of the casings. You see the strikes I got in the casings. Much better. They didn't have super hard primers, So that just goes to show that the primers on the Freedom munitions are really hard. So I'm not going to blame the pistol, the one pistol, even though one was able to do it. I'm not going to blame the pistol. I just think it was bum ammunition, or I got a bad lot or something like that. So I'm going to say good to go with all new manufactured ammunition. But like I said, I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to tell you what they are. Because of what had happened, I went ahead, went online, and I shot about 450 rounds through both of these pistols. So each one of them had at least 225 rounds apiece. And like, once again, I'm going to reiterate, only one of them had an issue with some of the reloads. And like I said, I think it was just bum ammunition. Nevertheless, went online and I ordered some brand new USGI M9 springs, firing pin spring, brand new firing pins, M9, USGI, the firing pin plunger, which is, you know, in the M9 style pistols, it's a two-part plunger. It's got the firing pin, and it's got like the striker on the back that rotates out of the way with the safety over here, and the spring, and the 20-pound hammer spring. So that should pretty much ignite anything. And then what I'll do then, once I get all that in there, I will tune the pistols from there. I do plan on putting in, I think it's Langley Tech or something like that. I forget, a Longley. They sell a trigger bar, and it's supposed to reduce over travel, and it's supposed to make the trigger like that much better. Because I know on these pistols right here, when you go, oh, I'm sorry for all the, oh, forgive me. Pistols are clear. I gotta back up, right? Okay, look. Pistols are clear. Clear. No ammo. Okay. That being said, when you're in single action, you've got all this take up. Okay? Forget about the double action. Double action, you're right there, and then you just draw through, and it's going to go. And that's not bad. It's a long drawn out, but that's part of the safety. You can carry it in the ready position, and then you just pull it out, and you can get around if you have to. But when you're in single action like this, even when after you fire it, you get that take up, which isn't the end of the world, okay? But that's actually a built-in safety factor. But then when you actually fire, then you've got your reset. Now watch the reset. Watch how far out. Let me go like this. Watch how far out. And then reset right there, right? But there's a lot of take up on that. You see? Sometimes your finger rides a little more forward, then you got to kind of come back to slack in it. Anyway, this Langley, I don't know if it's Langley Precision or Langley Tactable, but people who know, just look up Langley trigger bar, and you'll see. Now let me test this one. Okay. There's your brake. Come back. And see, and then you still got to come in a little bit. See that little bit of slop right there on the trigger? Like I said, it's not the end of the world. This is a standard trigger bar, and all the 92s are like that. Then you have your brake. That can be eliminated by getting one of these aftermarket trigger bars. And they're like $75, $80 a piece. And then there's like an over travel that you can adjust. You can tune it per pistol. And then the bottom line is, it's supposed to like take about 2 pounds off of your double action pull, and it's supposed to completely eliminate that over travel. So once you come out, it's a very short, kick out with the trigger, and then it breaks right away. if you're into that kind of thing. It's really not that important, but once I change the springs out, I'll tune from there. So just to reiterate, they were reliable. I'm going to say 100% reliable, or 100% reliable with factory loads. When I say factory loads, I mean new manufacturer, not reloads, because you don't know if you're getting hard primers. Sometimes you don't know. I buy my ammunition in bulk. I mean, you buy it, sometimes I'll buy 500 rounds of 9mm, 500 rounds of 40 caliber, and you don't know when you buy it like that. You go, oh yeah, okay, well, it's 5 cents cheaper per round if I go with the reman, and the way they advertise their reman, it sounded really good, but if you're firing out of a striker fired pistol, maybe you'll be able to get away with it more. But in a hammer fired pistol, with this, you have you've got your firing pin down in here, and then you've got this little plunger. If you can see it rotating, well, let me see. You see that? That's like a pre-striker. And that's why with these, they're completely safe no matter what. You can rotate that out. There's no way that this pistol, sorry, you didn't see that, right? Right there, that's like the striker. If you can see it, there's a little nub in there. That's the striker to the firing pin. It's a 2-part firing pin. Once you rotate that out, it disappears. So all this is going to do when the hammer falls is it's going to fall on the back of a block. It's not going to touch that firing pin. I'm going to call it a striker plunger. They actually call it a firing pin plunger. So you have to have, the point I'm trying to make is you have to have more inertia. And also, like with a Glock type, you've got the spring, as soon as you release that striker, it's going forward with all the force of the striker spring. Whereas this one, the firing pin is set up completely different, obviously, because it's hammer fired. But this has a firing pin spring that works in the opposite direction. So it's working that way, where a striker's working this way. So you have to have a really good hammer spring with enough tension to drive that hammer forward, to hit the back of that plunger, to hit the second piece of that firing pin, which is working up against the tension of a firing pin spring that's inside of the top part of the slide. So you have all those things working against each other. So that's why the ammo is going to be more sensitive in some pistols rather than other pistols. So I'm giving it a pass on that. I would say yes, I would rely on the pistol as long as I was running fresh ammunition without questionably hot primers. That's fine. That being said, I'm still going to change the springs. I'm going to get these to USGI spec weight as far as the spring goes, and then I will tune it from there. What I plan on doing then is once I get it to USGI specs and replace all those springs, and I'm only doing that because this is my personal preference. I'm not saying they don't run fine the way they are. They do, but this is just for me, my personal, I don't know what you want to call it, preference. I'm going to get to the 20-pound mainspring. Once I do that and I change with the USGI parts, and I'm going to take them out, I'm going to test again, and then I'm probably going to go to a 14-pound mainspring. And I might even go with a lighter firing pin spring. And for anybody who says, why would you do that? Because they have that heavier firing pin spring in there to prevent slam fires or whatever. Well, I don't see a problem with it, because when this is decocked, I already showed you that that portion on the back, the plunger that strikes the firing pin, is out of the way. If you're carrying it like this, and you had one in the chamber, and then you smash the back of the hammer, well, still not going to do anything, because you have, see this firing pin block that's going up and down? See that? Well, that doesn't, the firing pin can't go forward unless that's up. So you have two fail-safes, so I have no problem with that. It's a very safe pistol, extremely safe pistol. It's actually a lot safer than a striker-fired pistol. Anyhow, I want to show you two more things before I sign off. But the range report is very reliable. One was 100% with everything, and I had 225 rounds through each pistol. Mixed ammo, once again, for ammunition. These were the reloads, 180 grain, and I'm going to show you the bullet profile too. Sorry, I didn't show you the bullet profile. See the profile? It's a match grade. It's what they call it, a match grade hollow point. This is not defensive ammo. This is like a match grade hollow point. Very accurate. It's not the kind that will flower out, not for defense. They feed no problem. They've got a nice profile on it, and so I had no problem with any of that. That is range ammo, not defensive ammo. And then, of course, the ammo that was 100%. This is 124 grain MagTech, and I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, that it is pretty close to a NATO spec as far as how many feet per second in muzzle energy and whatnot. And that's why I got it, because I wanted something that was as close to 124 grain. It's not NATO, but it's very close to NATO spec. The other ammo I had, I did shoot some 115 grain ammo through them. It was, let me see, what was it? It was CCI Blazer brass cased ammo, 115 grain, and the ammo was over 5 years old, okay? And it shot it, both pistols ate that up, no problem. Not one failure to ignite. They fed and fired every round. So that was over 5-year-old ammunition that I had in storage. I said, well, I'm just going to eat the rest of this up. It was bulk ammo, but it was brand new manufactured CCI Blazer brass case. All right, last thing. 2 things. People asked about magazine and like holster compatibility. I'm sure people have questions on that. Well, this is the magazine. This is a Metgar magazine. This didn't come, I think it came with ACT mags. The ACT mags are fine. Beretta 92 magazine, 18 round. You already know this one fits. This right here is a USGI contract mag. This is a checkmate mag, not the infamous checkmate mags that were Parkerized and holding sand. This is one with a nice smooth finish. This was made in 2010. I bought some of these brand new in the wrap, and I had some before. I had about a half dozen of them. So I found another source. I got them for $10 a piece. Scour around there out there. They were new in the wrap with the cage codes, never opened. 15-round magazines. I like these because you're not overstressing the spring. You're not overly compressing the spring. There's a reason why the military does it. Anyhow, USGI, cage codes. Cage codes. Checkmate. Now we'll put it in the pistol. Fits in beautifully. Drops free. Beautiful. Slide locks back. Pistol drops. Everything lines up beautifully. Drops free. Got a nice spring on it, see? So there's no problem. These are really good magazines. And don't worry about fancy magazine, people. That's not what it's about. It's about having a good ammo supply and a reliable ammo supply. And I ran some of these also at the range from my older batch, same type. They run perfectly fine. So I did test USGI magazines. This pistol, like I said, and when I take it apart, I'll report back. I'm sure there's going to be some very minor differences, but I believe every part on this is going to be compatible with an M9 or 92 FS. I'm going to pause for 1 second, and I'm going to pull out a Gerson regard because I'm going to pull the slide off, and I want to compare the slides and the slide cuts in the locking block profile. So just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, here's my Gerson regard. This is actually an M9A1 clone, pretty much. You know, Gerson's got their little, I don't know what it is. They're very nice, but this styling is slightly on the tacky side. I don't know why they do that. This, you know, make it more pure, guys, you know. It's nice, don't get me wrong, I like it. And I've had this pistol for over 5 years. But it's great, reliable, and everything like that. But somehow with their cuts, I prefer the classic lines. You don't screw with a classic. I'm sorry, but nevertheless, it is what it is. It's nice, but I just prefer the older style. And let's show clear. With clear, Okay, now that we've shown clear, drop the hammer, decock, pull the slide off, do a side-by-side comparison. Right, opinions are like buttholes, right? Everyone's got one. Okay, there's your initial look, and from looking here, everything looks pretty much the same, right? Everything. I'm looking, and everything looks, I'm looking, and it looks pretty much exact. Okay, let me see this. I'll tell you one thing, the one thing, and I'm going to say this right now, that the Regard does not have, that the Melik does have, is if you see right in there, that is the hammer pin. This has got the oversized hammer pin to stop the slide up the slide cracks from coming off. It does have it right there. That's what that extra nub is right there. If you look at the Regard, it doesn't have that. So that's one thing they don't have. You want to why? Because it wasn't necessary. That was caused by beating up on the guns and the pistols and running them too hard. Okay, let's take these apart. Capped springs. Push forward, take it out. Okay, got that and that. I'm going to do a comparison. Take that. Put this over here. Okay. First thing, you can look at your locking block profiles for the cuts in the locking block, and you're going to notice, I don't know if you can see that, see if I can get these up close side by side, let me put these side by side so you can get a good look. See the cuts? If I hope it's showing up on camera, where the locking blocks ride in here. Once again, we'll do it one at a time. These are straight up and down, just like a Beretta 92. See that? Now, notice straight up and down with those cuts. Now let's get the Gerson Regard. There's an angle. They actually go, it's almost like, it's not quite a 45, but there is an angle the way that is cut. And you can see it. So, that being said, that's the difference why a Beretta barrel and locking block is not going to be compatible with this one. But I bet you it is, with the Derya Melik, more evidence that this is a one-for-one clone of a Beretta. Now let's look at the barrels real quick. Well, the locking block just popped out of that one. That's alright. We can put it back in. Get. Go over there. Alright, you're back in. That's fine. Okay. The angles on the side of the locking block, they're a little different. You can, on the side profile, they're slightly different, but the cuts, like I said, in the actual slide are different. So, and this one wants to keep popping out. And that's supposed to happen, folks. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just, it is what it is. Let's put that back in again. Get in there. Come on, get back there. There you are. So there you go. Derya Melik. Gerson Regard. just for the heck of it, we placed see how she slides in there. No, no. There's a locking block. The locking block doesn't seem to sit as well. The locking blocks are different, but I bet you if you switch the locking blocks out, that one will fit in the other. I can do that right now. Why not, right? Put that here. This here. Take this one out. Come on. Okay, put that here. So, take the Grisson Regard locking block. Put it in here. Now I'll put it inside the Derya Melik. I'm sorry, you gotta go the other way. It's gotta go in the Grisson Regard, right? Yeah, the locking blocks go up just exactly where they should. So I'm thinking the locking block rides in the slide grooves fine. I don't know if I'd do it, but it's possible. Don't get them mixed up, guys. Come on, get back in there. Sometimes you want to go in, sometimes they don't want to go in. They're a pain in the ass. Anyway, I can put this mess together afterwards. I don't want to bore you with it. There's your basic breakdown. The slide profiles are different as far as the cuts in it. So that's why this, if anybody was wondering, is cut just like a Beretta. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Oh, one last thing. This is a level 3 Serpa for a Beretta 92 FS. There you go. Perfect. Perfect fit. Absolutely perfect fit. So if you have any questions, question and answer. I'll put this mess together after. I'm not going to bore you guys with me sitting there fumbling with it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, I hope you found this information useful. If you already haven't, like, subscribe, please thumbs up. It helps out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Have a good day.